Kingdom Outkasts podcast is a platform for us to simply express our thoughts, opinions, and experiences concerning our faith and events around the world. We're here for your entertainment, encouragement, and edification of the body. We're humans like yourself and are not the final authority of views expressed. Only the Most High Yah is. Feel free to agree, disagree, edify, question, and comment however you're led to in the comments. We are many members of one body under Messiah and look forward to communing as a family with mutual respect. Shalom and enjoy the pod. Kingdom Outkasts.
Get some cold cuts.
I'm sure I'm not ashy up on here.
I'll be like, no, look, Dayja trying to start a fire on the couch over here.
What do you mean? Oh, with me being. Yeah.
I wouldn't got me one.
We're not gonna joan today on the pod.
No.
I thought we were just
Yeah,
chilling. You know, I feel like it's roasting season.
It's roasting season. That's what happens when you get warm. You can do whatever you
There
want.
you go.
You can
You
roast
know,
yourself
Brandon
right
roast
there.
our
You know,
lives. You know it gets violent when it get warm out.
Yeah.
Man's gonna roast our lives.
Yeah, I do think that's one area that we have to be conscious that at any time we can pretty much shut us down.
I don't really know how to roast this guy. I just heard people say this.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yes, far every time.
Yeah. Just...
Basically, don't play with you.
No, I don't know.
We started.
This is our microphone today.
Or we started.
So.
Oh, word.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's still good. It still picks up things.
We just have to project.
Is the dryer like gonna be on the whole time, or can it just pause and get some cold cuts? Get some cold cuts. Proverbs 31. I'm talking about Proverbs 31 woman.
Oh, she feeling herself today.
Feeling it.
She really feeling herself today.
Yeah, I just thought that you guys could use a good lesson. I'm actually feeling it because
Okay.
I was on a Hebrew business panel this week, and the first of its kind. The first of its kind.
Wait. What?
Hebrew women.
I was on a Hebrew women in business panel this week. The first of its kind.
Where at? Where at? Was that on video or live?
It was on live on Jars of Clay, BCC Women's Ministry.
It was live.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, got
Yeah.
you.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know they even had a website or social media.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's probably growing daily, if I had to guess. But yeah, it was amazing. I got to talk about my experience working as a business manager, my experience, doing bookkeeping and studying finance in school, and why I chose that career path, and just encouraging the women in entrepreneurism and being a serial entrepreneur as well. I actually referenced Ecclesiastes 11 that was on the Money Pod about having sent 7 ventures, yea 8. Because you never know when trouble could come to the land. But
shout out to the Money Pot.
There was a shout out Money Pot. There was some major discussion going on. We have 2 women that are in leadership and ministry that have created a product, like a software that they built and have 100% equity in, and they are I don't want to say trialing it. They're trialing it and having discussions to bring this to the continent of Africa. So these are major conversations that are going on with women in business.
Say that last part again. What of the continent of Africa? What was it?
Yeah, they have a telehealth business,
Uh-huh.
and they are in talks with the healthcare systems in Africa to trial their product that they've built.
I should
So-
try to bring Ron into.
Major conversations.
Doesn't he have medical?
He was a
Yeah,
PA.
he did. He worked.
Yeah, that's something I should definitely talk about.
Yeah, no, big moves going on. Big
Yeah.
moves.
That's massive. I mean, think about supplying the whole continent with telehealth, which is really the future. I mean,
It is.
it's huge. And I think from our men's meeting, and then hearing about the women's Jars of Clay meeting, it's just exciting times that we're living in. But like, we've got a lot of really, motivated Hebrews that were around. We can learn from. Like, that's how I feel. I'm like, man, I'm so young. I'm so blessed to be able to pick up a lot of the gems. Not only just about like making money and building wealth and creating these businesses, but also like spiritually being a leader and like just learning how to eventually have a family.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing that kind of excites me.
No, the thing that I think is so cool too is that like when we start talking about group economics, we're actually experiencing a time where the people of our faith are the professionals and the top in their industry in different places in different areas, enough that we could really start to leverage each other's skills and abilities and mindsets. We have people, I heard from women that are done very well real estate. One young lady I spoke with, and we're actually getting to know each other very well as friends, but she has worked on generative AI.
The coding side.
On coding, yeah.
Oh, wow.
So she's actually built and basically done machine learning or developed the machine learning process for AI, and just amazing, like different minds coming together.
Yeah, we've got basically at PCC. I feel like we have all of the foundational aspects to building actually a nation. We got electricians, we got welders, we got people in construction that can build. We've got personal trainers, blood type nutritionists.
We have multiple facts.
We got doctors,
multiple
attorneys,
doctors. Yeah, pharmacists.
Yeah, pharmacists.
Attorneys, yeah.
And we got people in construction. This is some of the type of conversation that we want us to have a little more in this meeting.
Yeah.
We focus a lot on the spiritual aspects we should, but I do want to start focusing a lot more on practical things as well, just as far as actually nation building. Like, obviously we got to be focused on working on an individual self. So we talk about a lot of spiritual aspects and stuff, but I want to talk about a lot more nation building topics.
Yeah.
Start to talk about what to actually do like that, So I feel that.
It's exciting.
I feel that.
It's definitely something we got to definitely have a lot more conversations on. And I think it's just right now kind of building that foundation of trust.
Yeah, foundation of trust.
Like amongst Negroes here in America, that's not been it's not been a topic that I think that can be discussed, unfortunately. And I think it's because like the crabs in the barrel mentality that has been put on us, and that a lot of uppity Negroes have just taken on. So it's like, I think because we operate in unity in the body of Christ, and we know who we are, then it's just like, all right, like of course I'm gonna give you the money, of course I want to build with you,
right?
We have that trust, so
yeah, I think there's definitely more trust to be built, but definitely more proactivity too.
So Brandon, how's your week been?
Week has been cool. Still going steady with clients. Pretty much that. Nothing too interesting, I would say. Kind of, I guess, reached almost a year anniversary of my on the lock journey.
Ooh.
So
Congrats.
It's about two more weeks, but I was just kind of, since I just got in the reach. I think they've grown literally probably just double since the shrinking portion of because I started with braids, right? And then they shrunk up, and then they're about double, so they're about back to, they're a little bit longer than the original length of the braids.
Oh wow. So what amongst your lock journey, have you gotten your hair retwisted? I think you only retwist your hair twice in a year?
I retwisted maybe 4 times.
4 times.
Okay. Yeah, I've been doing 3 to 4 months in between retwists.
Interesting.
Yeah, just because I want them to be a certain amount of thickness. You know what I mean? I don't want the super skinny ones. Only got like 38 locks, so. 38.
I have 46, and they're used. Like you've seen how my hair is when it's out. Like they are. I don't want to say they're unruly, but they're not tight at all. They're very loose.
Nah, but I feel like the fuzzy ones would be the nice ones. I'm actually gonna probably comb the ends out. I want to comb the ends out, just texture wise. Trying to think whether I want to do it now or wait till they get to like maybe about shoulder length. But you said 46.
Yeah, I had 46. I had 22 and
22. The number was cool for me because 38 in Greek means kadash. Is kadash?
Kodesh locks.
Holy,
that wasn't intentional. You just
it was just kind of, I was like, oh, okay, well, this is something I am striving for in life, right?
Yes, the Kodesh. Maybe that could be part of our naming for our unspeakable next thing that we're building. Can't talk about it.
Yeah.
That might be somewhere in the naming.
Yeah, I definitely don't have 30 lugs.
Mine has a number 2. So mine is 46, which is 23 and 23. And 23 is like my number.
No,
I have a 23
can I just
tattoo.
No, you got to do
And that's how many
46.
chromosomes
Yeah,
we have.
just
Right.
do
No,
40.
it's 23 and 23, and 23 is my number. It's
All
a
right,
thing.
There's 46
so forget
chromosomes
the
in the body.
fact. Forget that I
Okay,
just looked
boom.
up 46.
I think don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that,
I
please.
literally just looked
Yeah,
up
sorry,
46.
I didn't see wise counsel in that area.
No,
Michael Jordan.
Yeah, she's on her.
I gotta
Her
find
Jordan
the
year
Hebrew
forever.
equivalent, but it is agnaphos, which is a Greek, unshrunk, unprocessed, raw,
Woo!
unshrunken,
Too real.
new,
She's real.
meaning fuller,
He's doing a new thing.
or cloth.
Hallelujah.
Renewal such as shadash, meaning new. Yeah, it has some meaning.
I like that.
You know,
We have to count yours.
I don't know.
You don't know? Oh yeah, you gotta get yours.
We'll get there eventually, guys. Listen. Now I'm kind of rethinking if I should get mine retwisted. I was thinking about getting mine retwisted before Passover. But I'm like, man, maybe I should just let it keep going. You know?
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's been about a month now.
Yeah.
It's been about a month since I got the locked up. So
what's it been like for you?
It's been interesting for sure. I've been trying to figure out the style because, you know, I mean, I put them in cornrows, you know, which was smooth, but I kind of like it down. It's just like
just go freeform.
Okay with it, you know.
It's just
weekend status.
It sticks up. He wants his freeform though.
I did.
That's the part that's funny.
Did.
Freeform is too wild. He works in corporate.
Okay, so in Hebrew, 46 is avir, which means mighty, strong, powerful.
So I'm real and I'm mighty, but I'm humble. Does it say humble in there?
No.
I mean, it's just powerful and mighty and strong.
Take it.
Yeah. You gotta find out your number now. My Greek word is cool, but my Hebrew word it's a name, Abijam, and Abijam means father of the sea or father of the people.
Oh.
Father of the sea, not Marine Kingdom.
Yeah, no, don't do that. Father of the people. Abijam is the proper noun. It refers specifically to a king of Judah, the son of Rehoboam, the grandson of Solomon. The grandson of Solomon. The name sometimes interpreted as "my father is the sea" or "the father of my people." Okay, interesting. All right. Well, yeah. So, all right. But that's my week. Y'all week.
Yeah.
Y'all week
like
great.
We did it. I want to get into the precept now, if possible.
Okay.
My week's been good. My week's been good.
Wait, but you guys, I want to ask you to do something here live that I don't think I've asked you to do exactly, but I think you can do it because you guys are like really smart. So I am going to use the word today. The Hebrew word is going to be prepare, but I want to say a sentence in Hebrew.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I actually want to hear a portion of the scripture in Hebrew. Is that possible? Instead of just the word prepare.
So I feel what you're saying.
We did that last episode. Your own land.
All right. Well, let's see. Tell them what the precept is.
Okay, so today the precept is coming from Proverbs 31. And I'm just going to read the entire thing, but I think I'm going to use the word prepare.
Okay, cool. All right, let's go for it.
It's going to be really embarrassing if I read the whole thing in the word prepare. Sayings of King Lemuel. The sayings of King Lemuel, an inspired utterance his mother taught him. And this is NIV, but I want the CJB. I'm reading for the CJB, which says, in the words of King Lemuel, the prophecy with which his mother discipled him. No, my son, no, son of my womb, no, son of my vows. Don't give your strength to women or your ways to that which destroys kings. It is not for kings, Lemuel, for kings to drink wine. It is not for rulers to say, where can I find strong liquor? For they may drink and then forget what has been decreed and pervert the justice due to the poor. Give strong liquor to those who is perishing, wine to the deeply depressed, and let him drink and forget his poverty and cease to remember his troubles.
Amen.
Speak up for
I'm
those.
not in poverty.
Speak up for yours. I don't want to say you're not a king. That would be crazy. Speak up for those who can't speak up for themselves, for the right of all who need advocates. Speak up, judge righteously, and defend the cause of the poor and the needy. Who can find a capable wife? Now we're getting into it. Her value is far beyond that of pearls. Her husband trusts in her from his heart, for she will prove a great asset to him. She works to bring him good and not harm all the days of her life. She procures a supply of wool and flax and works with willing hands. She is like those merchant vessels, bringing her food from far away. It is still dark when she rises to give food to her household in order to the young women serving her. She considers a field and she buys it, and from her earnings she plants a vineyard. She gathers strength and dignity around her and throws herself into her work. She sees that her business affairs go well, and her lamp stays lit at night. She puts her hands to the staff with flax, and her fingers hold the spinning rod. And she reaches out to embrace the poor and opens her arms to the needy. When it snows, she has no fear for her household, since all of them are doubly clothed. She makes her own quilts. She is clothed in fine linen and purple, and her husband is known at the city gates when he sits with the leaders of the land. She makes linen garments and sells them, and she supplies the merchant with sashes. Clothed with strength and dignity, she can laugh at the days to come. When she opens her mouth, she speaks wisely, and on her tongue is loving instruction. She watches how things go in her household, not eating the bread of idleness. Her children arise, and they make her happy. Her husband, too, as he praises her. Many women have done wonderful things, but you surpass them all. Charm can lie, beauty can vanish, but a woman who fears Adonai shall be praised. Give her her share in what she produces, and let her works speak her praises at the city gates. Hallelujah and amen.
Somewhere out there, Most High has my rib. Okay.
Maybe she's even watching.
Okay.
I hope so. I hope so.
Sorry about that, y'all. All right, so yeah, that was that's the famous Proverbs 31, man.
Proverbs 31.
I just think you guys don't hear it enough, so I thought it would be a good thing to share today.
Okay.
I do think I'm gonna have to change the Hebrew word, but I still want to see if we can find it.
All right.
I definitely don't trust any woman that has this in their bio on Instagram.
Proverbs, yeah, all right.
Don't trust them.
Yes.
You feel like
Proverbs 31 would
yeah.
You're a flex.
Yeah.
You are a flex.
Don't trust them.
Flexing. You're a flexter. Oh gosh. Okay, what do you want to change it to?
Clothed with strength and dignity.
Clothed. That's a phrase. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Clothed with strength and dignity is the Hebrew word.
A phrase.
Okay. What verse is that? What verse is it?
Okay, so it's going to be Proverbs 31.
Yeah,
25.
25. Okay, let's see here. Okay. Strength is Oz. Honor is Wahadar. Her clothing is Lubusa. Do you want me to read each and every one?
I was hoping we could read the phrase. Strength and dignity.
Oz Wahadar Lubusa. What's being said here?
Okay, say it one more time.
And I might not be pronouncing this right, but Oz Wahadar Lubusa.
What does that mean?
Oz, strength. So Oz is strength, might, power, refuge, to be strong or to prevail, might, mighty. I don't know if you want me to read all the history or background for all of these. Then you have Wahadar, which is, honor, magnificence, ornament, splendor, majesty, glory, to be divine, to adorn.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, it's definitely going deep on the historic background on this stuff. But and then Labouche, Strong's 3830, garment, clothing, apparel, a garment, a wife, clothes to wear.
Is that a wife?
Yes.
A wife as
a garment, a wife, yes.
Interesting. It's interesting in that word can mean garment or wife, like a covering.
Well, yeah, because your wife is your covering.
I like that.
Look, man, these Hebrews got a bad boy language, man. They be deep with it.
Yeah. That's romantic.
Yeah.
It's not basic like English.
Okay,
yeah,
exactly. Say the sentence one more time.
So Oz Wahadar Labusa. Oz is Strong's 5797. Wahadar is Strong's 1926, and Labusa Strong's 3830.
I like that. That's good.
Very interesting.
Okay. Current events.
So current events. So, let's start the pyramid talk.
Yeah,
actually, let's start the pyramids. Yeah. So, what do y'all take from that?
So I started seeing this current event about scientists have discovered 600 to 800 meter pillars beneath a particular pyramid.
Giza.
Pyramid of Giza. That's the one we saw at the AI Egypt experience.
It is, yeah.
So, and there's videos of what, basically animated pictures of what they believe it would look like for those pillars to be placed under the pyramids. And to me, that just looks like what the word says about it being the pillars of the earth. I don't know if those are the only pillars, but it sounds to me like those are the pillars of the earth. And I don't know if they're directly tied to the making of the pyramid.
Well, let me read this is New York Post. There's a vast. Well, all right. So researchers claim they discovered the legendary halls of Amenti in a quote-unquote vast city beneath Egypt's pyramid of Giza. A wild theory has perplexed archaeologists and experts who dismiss the claims as quote-unquote fake news. This isn't the right article to talk about this. To be honest.
Real quick.
Daily. No, go for it.
I was just gonna say what Dayja was referring to in regards to in the word, 1 Samuel 2. It says 1 Samuel 2 verse 8. It says, "For the pillars of the earth are the Lord's, and He has set the world upon them." That's what you're referencing in regards to the pillars of the earth. I don't know if there's a correlation between the pyramids and these pillars, but when you think of pillars go straight up and down.
Right.
They are vertical. Vertical structures. Okay?
Talk to them.
There are no vertical structures needed in a globe. In a sphere.
Yeah.
So what are we even talking about here? This is further confirmation that the earth has a firmament and that it is flat, dadgummit. There are 4 corners to it.
Of the plane.
And the Most High has pillars that He set. What's the word say? For the pillars of the earth are the Lord's, and He has set the world upon them. So I'm not saying, I don't know if there's a correlation between the pyramids and them having below structures, but we do see the word.
I think that's completely separate, but both are true.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I'm going to read this. There has been reports of new discovery in Egypt that will completely shatter the mainstream narrative of our past. Recent tomography scans reveal an extensive network of megastructures beneath Giza's second pyramid, including spiraling cylindrical formations stretching over 1,970 feet deep.
Wow.
Among the findings are 8 massive tubular wells leading to 2 underground cubic chambers, fueling theories that pyramids once supported an advanced energy system. Preliminary evidence suggests a highly complex underground infrastructure. And I actually watched a video that went into detail and showed the images that it came up with, but it's like a power plant. It's like a nuclear power plant.
I was wondering what they're suggesting that the pyramids were created to harvest energy.
Yeah, to harvest, and they're also we got to remember a lot of pyramids are built in accordance with the constellations.
Yeah.
So energy, they're looking at the celestials to see when things align. To know in the harvest industry. I mean, heck, just one of my clients the other day, Raul, Indian guy, I hate you about who's looking for yeah, right. He was like he trades, and he was like, one subject that really interests me And it's funny to hear this from like an old guy about astrology. But he's also Indian, and I think they are heavy into it. Yeah. He was like, yeah, how he was talking about how the richest day traders, they trade based off of astrology and planets and celestial alignments and
as far
stuff.
As the timing of the trades.
Yeah, like
interesting.
Yeah, like I heard a quote, it was like millionaires trade something, billionaires trade off astrology.
That makes sense.
Right.
But so then, these pyramids.
That actually brings up a question.
What's up?
Then does that, say you used astrology to trade, not for spiritual advice, not for any of those things, but you used it logically to beat the system of trade. Is that Kodesh?
I think there's a difference between understanding the celestial beings and understanding the constellations and stars and the sun and the moon, and worshiping them and thinking that they're the. I think it's all about perspective. Do you still know the source, or do you look at the creation before the creator? Yeah, I honestly think that's the main thing.
So if you just recognize the source and you use this to successfully trade and it's making you money, then it's righteous.
But then if you worship it though,
because it's making
you on the money, and like that's all you think about, then that can fall into idolatry. I feel like
it's like, yo, like there's a YouTube page. She's a Hebrew, and she teaches, on her page, the constellations and cosmology, the Hebrew cosmology, and when certain stars and sun and moon are supposed to do this and what it means and what this constellation means, and she breaks it all down in like a biblical manner. I just think it's a different thing when you are looking at something like, okay, my horoscope says I'm supposed to be sad today, like I'm supposed to be this, I'm supposed to do that, and like it's the actual thing that you keep using to confirm and tell you what to do with your life, rather than understanding, okay, I recognize the Most High has put these things into order for my good and for certain information.
No, that's
so.
That's good.
I mean, we're supposed to use it for our calendar, right?
Right.
It's not like saying, "Oh, Most High is going to tell me when it's 3:00." Like, no, He put it in the sky for us to use.
That makes sense. Which actually goes into
the system, though. The system, though, that we're in is built off of these things. So that's where it's like it can get a little bit, I guess, gray. Yeah. And you understanding,
Yeah, one thing I think about, not in the aspect of trading and making money, but also like major global events. I think Larry Johnson does a good job of this with talking about those major events and then the numerology behind it. For sure. But I think one thing that we actually experienced, and I didn't know about numerology and dates and their significance, but was 2 years ago during Feast of Tabernacles, Israel invaded Gaza.
It was
that
exact. Like right during Feast of Tabernacles.
Oh yeah. I still remember looking at my phone. I'm like, bro. Be like, y'all never guess it was on October 7th.
Which is so right now. I think like the spring equinox is coming up. We just had Purim. We're getting ready for Passover, and then, well, I mean, it's not really a current event, but we know that Purim has been pretty much hijacked to become this super like party, simple holiday, and it's associated with violence, the violent portion of the story, as opposed to the tears turning into joy and the weeping becoming a joy. It's viewed as a basically
it's how literally turning the situation around. And and what's funny is if you look at the book of Esther, and then there's also an additions to the book of Esther.
Is there
and what you find is in the book of Esther was published in a way where it like left the Most High out of it.
Yeah, there's no talk. It's one of the only books of the Bible.
But in the editions of Esther, it's published with the perspective of the Most High in it. And
I want to read that.
The shout out to the Bible Project. They do really good animation content. But I listened to their breakdown of it, and they said that basically it was most likely written at a time where it was like hard, or it wasn't it wasn't politically safe to talk about the Most High. Oh. So they were trying to recount this history and jot this in a time where it had to be secularized, censorship.
Interesting.
Right.
No, that's what we're going through right now.
Right. But the additions to Forget Esther might have been a version they also wrote that they could publish with Most High's understanding.
Yeah. So they just wrote it down straight as like literature. Straight literature.
Right.
Without the spiritual aspect.
Right. And then just make two different versions. So
yeah.
Okay. So the next current event is on Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. I want to say one more thing.
I want to say something about
the pyramids, right?
Oh, what?
Do you remember I showed you, the Egyptian hieroglyphs that showed like the hover boats and the flying saucers and stuff? But I have some images in my phone, and then Mayan, like a Mayan statue that's basically a QR code.
Oh, I do remember that.
But what you just see is when you actually look at the images in ancient civilizations, you see ancient technology.
Yeah.
You see these advanced things that we don't even show today.
Yeah.
And so it's just kind of like, I think we've actually digressed as civilization.
I think that we're trying to get back to that, honestly. Because I'm sure that in those pillars in the pyramids, first off, they were harvesting a lot of energy. What were they using that energy for? There's probably a lot of hidden knowledge and just information down there that can give us a lot more context to like how much, I don't want to say power, but how much like technology they really had. Because like when you showed us the Mayans with the QR code, it's like these Negroes had QR codes back in the day.
Yeah.
Then they must have had phones. And if they must have had phones, they must have been able to communicate, and they must have been able to travel as well.
Yeah.
It's just interesting. And I think like, I don't know, maybe they had hoverboards and planes and not planes, but saucers where we have planes. Maybe that's like the differences. But
you said something about an underground city.
Like
that's what the pyramids have. Basically, those pillars are an underground hole, underground city.
Oh yeah.
Ships, boats, helicopters.
Oh wow.
Yeah, these are Egyptian.
I kind of think of the Disney movie Atlantis. That's what I think about.
Okay.
Yeah.
When I think about probably the technology that they had, it's probably so far fetched for us to conceptualize.
Right.
Maybe you're right, Brandon. That we are primitive in comparison.
We are, because and this is why I really wish a lot more of us were so more open to like reading like more books. Man, I mentioned the Book of Nations, and with those brass plates that were translated was also found words of Japheth and words of Poseidon, aka Poseidon. And he wrote about the fall of Atlantis and technology and how advanced it was. And he wrote about, how he was born in the bloodline of Japheth, studied underneath Shem and Abraham. And so he explains all this stuff. And what you come to find out is that, this place is actually the Tower of Babel. This place is literally this is literally what that story is. The same thing. And you don't hear too much about the inventions and stuff that they had back then in the word. But when we do look at secular history, you can see that they still can't explain the pyramids and how they were built.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I was just watching a video while we was over eating where it was talking about how the pyramids are literally coated with like this kind of white structure, but it reflects like the sun. And it conducts electricity. And they're so too heavy.
So they're solar
to be placed by humans.
Right. Yeah.
I did see a video of an AI video of a giant with humans working alongside them, placing the pyramids.
There might have been a period where that was happening for real. I mean, for sure.
I'm thinking about the Nephilim.
Yeah.
Can we move on to Elon Musk?
Yeah, sure. So Elon, he recently, I don't know if he tweeted this out or he reposted.
He retweeted.
Yeah, he retweeted this post that has since been removed, of course.
Okay, Kanye.
But the post falsely claimed that.
And we're not even gonna get started.
Wait, so his post can get removed even though he owns Twitter?
Yeah, he just unretweets it basically.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Nah, it wasn't removed by the authorities. He
Right.
removed it himself because he was getting so much backlash. But the post falsely claimed that Stalin, the leader from Germany, and Mao Zedong were not responsible for the dirt naps of millions of people, but rather public sector workers were.
Oh,
That's what the post was claiming.
public sector workers.
Public sector workers, yeah, which is an interesting twist. Clearly, those public sector workers got directives from the people at the top.
Yeah.
You know? So to just blame it on them is too, they're just thinking too deep into it. Like of course, like they're, like, it's not like, you know, Stalin was physically taking each and every one of these hundreds of thousands of people and sending them in the trains and putting them to Siberia.
Yeah.
He wasn't physically doing that, but he said, y'all need to do this, you know?
Yes, he made the orders.
Yeah. And I think it's interesting because it's like it's a psychological thing. This man's in power, you know, he's got the military behind him, he's got, you know, wealth and all this stuff. So, of course, you, like, if that's what the majority of people are doing, then you're going to get on board so that you can, it's like survival, you know?
Yeah,
but it definitely came from on top.
How could the public, what benefit would the public sector have in defying orders from the top and just creating their own massacre? I don't know.
Well, so, you know, I've done a lot of looking into, I guess, the history of, you know, this, and the only thing what I'll say is that, you know, when you do look at, you know, what eyewitnesses said about what happened in that, I do believe that the numbers of deaths were highly inflated.
For which country?
With Germany.
Okay.
You could actually still look on, you know, Google Maps right now, and there's a structure that, you know, is supposed to be dedicated, you know, to those who died, you know, during it. And I'm actually trying to scroll and find it now. But it literally, you know, says, I actually think I shared it on here before too, where Lee talks about, you know, here, you know, died, 2.5 million people, and mainly Jews. And it's like, well, that's a lot less than 6 million. And it then doesn't even say all, it says mainly. You know, so, and then looking at other Jewish people in history and what they've quoted, you know, as far as like, you know, the amount. So the way I look at it is the same way Israel is, you know, funded, you know, is literally controlling America, and we funded ISIS, and we funded Hamas, and we know this is public unclassified information. The Ish folk funded the Nazis under the Ashkenazi funded the Nazis, and you know, they had to get rid of the opposition so that they could create the state of Israel.
So the opposition people being that are anti-Zionism,
right? Exactly.
Believers in Judaism.
Exactly. So let's create the terrorist group to get rid of people stopping us. And so, you know, it's kind of like these people say big outlandish things that have small truth to it, but it's a play on the ignorance of the people. Like how when Kanye would be saying stuff. Yeah. Okay, slavery was a choice if you consider us Israelites. Yeah. You know, just certainly that is said, like, it sounds crazy, and some of it is actually like way off. Yeah. But it's played on the ignorance of the people. Some of these statements. Yeah.
People don't utilize critical thinking.
Yeah.
But why is it okay that he can be openly anti-sin side of things, like that he openly can display Nazi-like behavior without getting any real repercussion?
Power, bro.
But as soon as a person, a melanated person says, "Oh, you should go check out this documentary. It's possibly about our history. It's called Hebrews to Negroes."
The judgment starts with the house of Yah. I mean,
like, you can literally identify as a Nazi, but if you're Elon, it's okay. Like that's not there's no you're not getting deplatformed, you're not getting shadow banned, you're not being canceled.
That's just really it. Like we're still underneath judgment for real. And granted, a lot of these people sharing information aren't even really a part of the walk. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They're just sharing things here and there to disrupt, the I guess the peace. And they're also not articulate enough to even talk about this stuff. You know what I mean? It's people just sharing things, it's people saying things ignorantly and not actually articulating, explaining, and having real discussions. Again, they're not going to have like Ron Dalton on there, right? Because you can actually articulate and talk.
Yeah.
They're going to have people that will they'll misrepresent the movement, make it look bad, and now we can be called a terrorist organization.
Right.
Because we have people who are misrepresenting it, talking about this stuff.
Yeah.
It's just all the plan. Like,
Yeah. They're not going to bring educated scholars on or people that like really have done, I feel like thorough research and can articulate themselves in a manner that like will get everybody's attention.
Yeah.
They just want
like Bishop Omar.
Like Bishop, like Ron, like Bishop William Brown, like people that literally know how to articulate being a Negro here in America, but also being Hebrew, and the reasons why we are, as well as the reasons why they aren't.
Well, actually,
and it's just like you said, it's part of the agenda because I think about when H2N first came out, and Ron talked on this in our last lives. Make sure I go check it out.
Yes. Part 2.
He touched on how like he would reach out to people's publicists and he like just never hear back or anything like that. And then it's interesting how like the major news networks they would always be talking about Kyrie. The news reporters would always ask Kyrie, why did you post this type stuff. They never actually went to go to Ron. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the person who wrote it.
Yeah, because they know that they would get
the works.
They would get the works literally.
They would get the works.
And they're like, oh wow, this is just too much. So it's just really all part of the plan. And I think it's a huge double standard, but Elon is literally ish. He literally is.
Yeah.
So is Trump. They're all part of that. It ties into Freemasonry.
Yeah,
it really does.
And that's what it is with Masonry. You gotta reveal the truth, but in deceptive ways.
Yeah.
So only the few who get it will get it.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's. I just think it'll be interesting because we are living in a time where some Jewish folk will say, it actually is looking like the stuff that's happening is stuff that happened right before the Holocaust happened. So you see signs of things going to where you would have that kind of period be happening again. Interesting.
So then that almost means like there actually is a rise in anti-Semitism to a certain extent.
It's not about the rise in anti-Semitism. It's not about anti-Semitism. What it is,
I see white supremacists every day on Twitter saying these things, but it's like the justification behind it is because of the things that they're doing to the Palestinians.
Well, what the commonality, what I hear, what a lot of them say is what's happening now is like, they're trying to get, guns, the way they're trying to establish more control over the population as a whole. Mainly as in the stuff that was supposed to be, or supposedly happened to the Jews back then, is supposed to be coming down on like the country as a whole, or mainly minorities as a whole. So this is going to be more so targeted against minorities. Yeah, it'll hit like, the middle classes and European class, but the stuff would mostly, probably hit us, where you see, now they're pushing out, Latino people, right? There's probably going to be ways that they come for Black folk. I know that they're talking about public housing. I think we only got like a couple years or something now until like public government housing is taken away and stuff. Like, so there are things happening that's actually going to displace huge amounts of, Black and Latino people.
That'd be crazy. That'd be really crazy. I think, what was I thinking about? Just there was recently this video of Trump. You sent it to me of the drones.
Yeah.
You know, and he was hitting that Trump dance. But then it talked about fighting for America and anti-Semitism as well. I really think that Trump is required to kind of push that because there's a real strong hate between the whites. Mm-hmm. There's hate amongst the whites,
yes.
the ish people, and then the non-ish people. You know what I mean?
The Proud Boys.
Yes, the Proud Boys. And there's like...
That's what I'm saying. There is a rise in because the Proud Boys are anti-ish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are.
Well, it's probably because they got more power than them.
Yes.
It's really just a thing of, well, we're the most powerful Europeans.
Yeah.
And y'all just the regular Europeans.
Yeah, it's like South Europe versus North Europe.
We're the rich Europeans. Y'all
and Americans are just the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but that is, and that's how quote unquote truth works, right? Mm-hmm. Coming to maybe a hotel pro-black phase, and you're like, European people are controlling everything, and the white man, and and you come realize, oh, wait a minute, it ain't really just the white man. There's actually a people inside of the white folk that's controlling things. Oh, okay, you got it, and it's just kind of like.
And then you also got black people inside that are controlling with the Europeans.
Yeah, there
the house Negroes. So,
I mean, honestly, when it comes to like, when a word talks about Edom, I'm over here kind of trying to think. There's got to be some black Edomites at the top of the pyramid.
Oh, I never thought about that.
Not just you got the certain tribes around in Africa, who do. I'm pretty sure there's a couple of black Edomites at the top of the pyramid who also knows the bloodline connections and literally where they family split off and how this branch got whited out and they're still here and they still colluding somehow.
Interesting. That would make for a really good show.
It really like the whole 13 bloodlines of
13 tribes, as they call it.
So not the 13 tribes. I'm talking about the 13 bloodlines of Ashatan.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if there was a black Edomite in that, I don't think that there is, but there's probably one like maybe 15 to 18,
This is
maybe
too much science, guys. Can we go
the Rothschilds do be like descendants of Cain,
Main topic.
But reclaiming the holy days.
Reclaiming the holy days. Okay, so I know we have Passover going on. I feel like as Kingdom Outkasts, we are sort of notorious for doing things our own kind of a way. And so I have seen a lot of the camps have already celebrated Passover, and they do have.
They already have?
Yeah, they have. They already celebrated, I think, like last week or 2 weeks ago, and they've had really huge assembly type events, hundreds of tables of families, and everyone's like in their white. Like, how are we preparing for Passover? Like, how are we reclaiming that day?
The last couple weeks I did Passover. I remember, I think the first time I celebrated, me and my boy Julian, we went on the top of Kennesaw Mountain. We had like some lamb and some food, stuff and bread, and like the scenery chill. And that next time I celebrated Passover, I think it's I also celebrated with Boom Believers in One Messiah. I actually did that with them 2 years, and with Harold, you and Joseph and a couple of folk. I've always celebrated multiple times in the year. Multiple different groups.
Yeah. I feel like
that's what I'm excited for.
Yeah.
I mean, in the word it says it's a 7 or 8 day holy day.
Yeah.
So a solemn assembly in the beginning, and a solemn assembly at the end. I think it's 8 days, but I think that's how it should be. Multiple gatherings. That's what I'm looking forward to this year. Hopefully we can get that hike done.
For sure.
Hopefully I can get a shofar before then. I found this a Hebrew brother who's in the truth, of course, in my complex, and he's mad chill. And his son was like, he had this massive shofar. I'm like, bro, where'd y'all get that from? He's like, actually, I make them, bro. And I'm like, bro, let me know how much to send you because I want one. Okay. Yeah. I don't know if he's really about it, but I'm hoping that he is.
Get him on an episode.
Yeah, man, he's an interesting guy for sure. He's Alexander. He's real cool. But I do feel like it is important for us to reclaim them as ours, because like when you do that Google search, whether it's Purim, whether it's Passover, whether it's Tabernacles, all you get are Ish people and how they celebrate it, and then you go like to the Google images, and then you see like
wickedness.
Yeah, it's just like it's not holy, you know.
It's literally like a Mardi Gras. It's like they wear like costumes and go out and drink, and they literally have turned Passover and Purim into Mardi Gras.
Yeah,
it is so disturbing to my soul.
But that's why it's happening around the same time and Lent and all of that. It's really just the Babylonian religion that is now broken off and have just different forms now. Like now it has a form in, in the Muslim faith, it has a form in the Christian community, it has a form in the Jewish. But when you go back, it all goes back to that, weeping for Tammuz, and the baking of the cakes.
Ash and the Lent.
Yeah, all of that. It goes all.
So you said the baking of Tammuz. Is that
the weeping? In the word it talks about how son of Adam, look, do you see what they're doing? They're weeping for Tammuz, and I think it was the baking of cakes, like with the crosses on them. And then you had talked about you had like the priests of Judah who are standing outside the temple, praising the sun. Yeah.
So is Tammuz Babylonian religion, or is Tammuz? Because I know like the cross is sign of Tammuz.
Tammuz was the son of Nimrod.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, who killed by a wild boar and became the reborn son of God. Nimrod was Baal, the sun god, and Tammuz is the son of God
that he actually had with his mom.
Right, Ishtar, aka Semiramis, Easter. So yeah, it really all stems from all that.
So all the pagan religions stem from Babylon.
Yeah, all of them. They just took different forms in different religions.
Yeah, in times.
Right, and it's crazy because if you think it's just about the timeline of everything, it's like, that's how Hashatan, like he knows about the knowledge of certain things, like probably even understanding the constellations and when certain things were supposed to happen. Not that he can tell the future, but he can also use these
he can read
knowledge, right? Because it's like hijacking the event that was going to happen through Israel, but through Babylon. Like these events and festivals they all predate, right?
Yeah.
But it's like he's hijacking them already. So now you got people like, this
predates Christianity. Yeah,
exactly. And people try to be like, Israel copied off of this and the Bible copied off of this. But it's really just like, Satan copying off of things that were predicted or prophesied to happen, through Yah.
Yeah. He is able to predict because what he does is he can use history. So he knows like present and he knows history, but he doesn't know the future. And if you just utilize patterns, even a 6-year-old, if you draw a pattern, and you tell them with a pencil and say what's next, they can create and continue the pattern. That makes total sense.
Yeah. So there's something that hijack every feast day and holy day or holiday or whatever.
What would it look like for our people to like really reclaim these holy days when, in large sums of us start to observe the holy days when in the times. So right now, we all know that the spring equinox is coming up. We can feel, the weather changing and people are getting prepared for something. They all know it's spring now, so we're doing very much something. For us, we just, we go to the word, we do our holy days, and we know these things are coming. What would it look like for our people to mass, focus on the Most High during these times of the year based on the calendars and the days?
I just kind of think about getting back to the word, first off, having a heart of repentance, praying and seeking the Most High, and applying his word to our lives. Like in these times, and then going back to what scripture says about the holy days and like literally having holy assemblies. That's kind of what I think about us doing that as. But I think that the first part of my answer, like that's something we should be doing already. Something we should be doing already. But like during these holy days, we just make it a bigger deal.
Everything you said, but what's gonna really like make it look and what people really see, that's what's going on, is when we stop having it so broken up.
Okay.
This congregation does this and this. There's no uniformity. There's still not a union in it yet. It's our hearts and ways are unifying, but it's not. Imagine if every congregation in Atlanta got together, had a convention. They could rent out like 3 hotels or whatever, and just we had a whole Passover. Like that would literally be on the news.
Yes, it would.
That would literally be like.
That'd be dangerous, I think, almost.
Good, okay? What do you mean? I'm talking about every brew we had. Yo, I grew up.
Dangerous for ice.
No. I grew up. Well, look, I grew up going to church conventions. Okay. NIYC, National Inspiration Youth Convention. Girl. Chancellor Rapper actually grew up going to the NIYCs too. That's how I got to work with his family with my children's book.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, but so it would be like all the Church of God denominations would all come for like a week long or 5-day long thing, whether it was Arkansas this year or Atlanta this year, and it was like a week long convention. But I think that's literally how Passover's got to be, and it's thousands of us, thousands, and we're all, and that's where the verse, "If my people call my name shall humble themselves and pray." I feel like the more of us mass gather at one time, there's going to be more
that would be
power.
So powerful. If we could just get like the Georgia Convention Center.
Yeah.
Bro,
that could be done.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
I know it can be done because even Change Church, I remember last Easter, my roommate went to Change Church at Easter and they had, it was at an amphitheater.
Yeah.
And she had to do like all the specials, parking and everything, and get a ticket because they literally filled up an amphitheater for Easter.
Think about what we could do for things that are actually biblical.
Right.
Look, and the problem is though is that you got a lot of, again, just like in Christian denominations, you got Hebraic denominations almost. People won't want to do it over doctrine and this and that and this date and that date, like the date don't matter.
It really does.
Could it still be done if it's like okay?
It should be the whole month.
Like, say we have a whole week long convention here in Atlanta, and it's at we'll say the Georgia Convention Center. We have 20 Hebrew leaders. They all teach. Like, of course, people are going to interpret the word differently, but if it's coming straight from the Bible, then it's like as iron sharpens iron. I know that there's egos,
but those that have a following in a congregation, they're going to be communicating to their congregation. This is what we're doing for Passover. We'll be here. You have to get, reserve your place or whatever. And they're going to come to see their leader. Yeah. So if your leader is teaching on, 2 nights, you might go those 2 nights. And then the next group might come the nights that their leader is teaching. I feel like it could be done if there was more synergy across the different leaders.
I just wonder how, I really just think I don't know. I guess my question is just why isn't there enough pastors that have the heart to want to actually unite? Like, even in the Church of God, one thing that was cool, the umbrella was big enough, I guess, for this, but we'd have a community Church of God 5 minutes away, and we'd do stuff with that other church. You know what I'm saying? Like sister or brother churches, and there was unity amongst that, right? But obviously this bubble we're in is so much smaller, I guess.
It is niche.
I was at Marietta Square, I was on a date, and I before we left, I saw a dude with some long gray locks and the tetragrammaton on his hat, and I was like, I gotta go speak to him before we leave, just to see who he is.
What was he about?
Oh man, he's a brother, been in the truth for like over 30 years or something like that. Older gentleman, got a YouTube, does teaching.
What's with the symbolism?
With the tetragrammaton?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the the YHWA in the Hebrew letters.
Oh, okay.
He was wanting me to go and look at this teaching where he said how we're like not in the renewed covenant yet. Like, and I've heard this perspective before where it's like the renewed covenant actually starts when the Messiah comes back. I want to hear that perspective and what it is that I need to hear that to understand what these perspective is. But even so, the dude, you can tell he's cool enough to where like he would rap with any group. You know? And so it's just like, well, he's actually visiting from Jacksonville, Florida, I believe he said. And he knows William.
Oh
you know?
yeah.
And but it's just like, man, like we just got to actually start doing stuff together. I mean, even if it discluded camps, which we love some of y'all. We love some of y'all camp folk. I'm just saying the thing is
I can't tell.
Huh? What'd you say?
They're probably like, I can't tell.
No, I have people I'm cool with camp. I just know that a lot of times we don't be wanting to be associated, because we don't want people to put that angry stereotype on us,
right?
Whether we, because say we had them with camps, right?
Yeah.
There might be some fight
be
might break out.
Maybe, yeah.
There might be like, yo, fam,
no,
like
not with our ruach.
But when have you seen the ruach where they're screaming on the microphone?
That's what I'm saying. If one side just has ruach, all we can do is give more ruach. Like, we shouldn't be fighting. There would be no fighting.
I'm saying we would have to like not have people who have aggressive.
You know what? It's interesting because you know what you were describing with Kojic reminded me of back when I was in the fraternity, how they used to have these big conferences. They would get all the alphas together. You know, we had the regional conference, the national conferences. I just thought it was interesting that Kojic is, you know, a denomination. That's how other like, there's, you know, the Baptist conferences and stuff like that. So it's interesting. Yeah. And I know that the people that started those, you know, were they possibly were in, you know, secret societies as well. So I don't know if they had those conferences back then, but I just thought that was an interesting similarity.
Yeah.
You know?
You know? I mean, it is like the power of the group think, and like I said before, the synergy behind people. Like people like to get together and be together and feel empowered when we have those gatherings. I personally feel like in order for us to reclaim the holy days, we don't have to be unified as far as renting out stadiums and getting tens of thousands together. But just like how everyone sort of respects Ramadan, and I don't have to know when Ramadan starts or when it ends, but I just have an understanding that all Muslims across the world are doing this at this time, and that's enough. I don't know what the days are, any of that. So I just think that in the future, during our Passover time, it will just be the Passover season, which will be really like the entire 30 days, like that's before and after. And because we don't have the dates perfect.
That's when Yeshua comes back, though. That's going to be during the millennial reign. I don't think that's not. I don't think that's going to happen until he comes back. Like, as far as like where the world recognizes. Time when Yeshua comes back? I mean, it's 1,000-year millennial reign, so there's a number on it. Yeah, somehow. And it does say people are going to live like longer years again during that period too.
I'm here for it.
Hundreds of years.
As long as they look like this.
Like, no, think about it. Think of it in the slim chance that we get to see that by the time we maybe 50, 60.
And then we live another 200 years.
I want to live a whole house.
400, 500 years.
500 more years.
Think about it. We have no idea we have hundreds of years
worth of life left. That would be
hey, man.
And then imagine us knowing each other the whole time.
But honestly,
for 500 years.
But honestly, that be
around for about 200 years.
That be my small bit of disagreement in my mind, man. A lot of people will like, you know, even at the men's meeting, you know, people will say like, still say, only thing that's promised is death and taxes, or you know, be like, or how like how death is promised to all of us. Yeah. I'm just kind of like, yeah, but if you really think about it and you really believe we're in that time, can you really actually harp on that death is promised to all of us right now?
Yeah.
You know, some of us could be that remnant who get to live or resurrect. You know, I mean,
as long as I can still be able-bodied and
that's the alternative thought, right?
I mean, I would be like, yes.
Oh, healing.
100, 400 years, you know?
It's going to be, the word talks about the
healing.
Long.
I know, but then...
they're going to be dragging on the floor.
Literally twist them around the head twice.
I'm going to just wear them in a turban like Enoch.
I'm going to wear mine as clothes.
A lot like Elijah started Kingdom Outkasts, clean cut, wave.
By the end of it, repent!
Then he started growing his hair out. He's not even wearing clothes no more. His locks wrapped all around his body. Like, look at what he's turned into.
You have to be like pretty much in prayer 90% of your day, and then the 10%, that's what you take to interact with other people.
Hey, I would love that.
Yeah, we got to mark Elijah's transformation.
Yeah.
From
we should just make content out of that. That would be so.
I know, right?
Clips.
This is what happens when you. This is the brew starter pack, man.
Starter pack.
You just start growing your hair telling us that he's more of a Christian than a Hebrew.
Oh
my gosh, that would literally end the game.
Oh my god,
the game would be game over.
That was funny.
Game over.
Oh,
the timelines would go crazy.
Are you guys ready to go to alternative thought?
Yeah,
let's get into
Okay,
it.
so the alternative thought today is so alternative that I'm almost afraid to speak about it. I just feel like we should bleep out every other word.
Right.
Well, we do know that they put out the JFK files.
Okay, they put out the JFK files.
That's all over X.
I think the agreed upon finding, the agreed upon finding from the file is that JFK was assassinated by the CIA, which was already known, but a layer to that, in cahoots with the state of Israel. And so the reason being is, I suppose, JFK was trying to make the state, they were under another name at the time, register with, what's the term?
Register with?
They needed to register as a foreign entity.
A foreign entity, okay.
And they did not want to do that because currently they were moving incognito. And he's like, you guys aren't incognito. You're able to have a hand in foreign nations. Therefore, you need to register as an entity so that we can monitor your business dealings with these various nations.
Yeah. Should I read something?
Yeah, definitely read something if you have it. Yeah. I have something from Vanity Fair too.
Okay. What's new in the JFK files? 5 things to know about the assassination record. The federal government on Tuesday night released tens of thousands of pages about the assassination of John F. Kennedy, although it's unclear how much light they will shed on one of the great turning points of American history. National Archives published documents at the order of President Donald Trump, who on Monday told reporters at the Kennedy Center that officials released all the Kennedy files Tuesday. It sparked a scramble at the Justice Department, whose attorney worked through the night, scoring hundreds of pages of documents. Files are mostly dense with information that experts already knew, but there are some gems unveiled. America's assets who spied on Fidel Castro, Soviets feeding information about Kennedy's assassin to U.S. Professional Board, and inner workings of the CIA spacecraft. You know, this is actually also when they first coined the term conspiracy theory as well. Oh, I've had the CIA document for a while. The archive.org.
He's been hip.
Been hip. CIA doc 1030, 1035, 960 by Central Intelligence Agency. The trend of opinion is a matter of concern in the United States, including our organization. The members of the Warren Commission are naturally chosen for their integrity, experience, and prominence. They represent both major parties, and their staff are deliberately drawn from all sections of the country. Just because of the standing of the commissioners' efforts to impugn their rectitude, the wisdom tend to cast doubt on the whole leadership of the American society. Moreover, there seems to be increasing tendency to hint that the President and Johnson himself, as the one person who might have said to have benefited, but was in some responsible for the assassination. Innuendo of such seriousness affects not only the individual concerned, but also the whole reputation of the American government. Our organization itself is directly involved. Among other facts, we contributed information to the investigation. Conspiracy theories have frequently thrown suspicion on our organization. For this example, by falsely alleging that Lee Harvey Oswald worked for us. The aim of this dispatch is to provide material for countering, discrediting, and claims of the conspiracy theorists, so as to inhabit the circulation of such claims in other countries. See, and this is where they first coined that term in this document, where conspiracy theory is going to be used for anybody who questions the rhetoric, the rhetoric of what the American government is trying to, push out. But yeah, it all started here.
Yeah, and I have this document here. It's a it's an article from Vanity Fair. It says, "What are some of the big takeaways from the release and redaction of these thousands of documents? Start with the documents that are blockbusters, such as the long-suppressed deposition transcripts of the legendary James Angleton, the CIA counterintelligence chief, who recently testified, or who secretly testified before the Senate in 1975 about the arrangements between himself and CIA assassination chief." They have a assassination chief at the CIA. They did. That is insane.
Yeah.
Bill Harvey.
They do this all the time.
Regarding the use of Israeli intelligence operatives in Havana, Cuba. So that tells me a couple things here. First off, they were trying to kill Fidel Castro because he was anti the American movement. He was, kind of pro-communist, I guess, or he's more in line with the Soviet Union. But they had Israeli intelligence operatives in Havana, Cuba, likely as well as in the United States. So it ties them together. And it's just, it's just a lot of interesting stuff. There was this great documentary. I'm trying to find it real quick for y'all that I sent out to so many people. And I think that it's a really good watch when you have 3 hours or so. It might take you a couple of days. But this documentary, basically, it explained all of the behind the scenes of these. It was way before the JFK files were released, but it talks about the conspiracy behind who really offed JFK. And it talks about the mafia. It talks about the major central bankers, which we know is tied to that state over there, likely. And then it talked about essentially why they did it. And there was a lot of politicians involved in it. One of them being Bush. Bush was in the CIA. The dad Bush. He was in the CIA, and he was basically, they had a huge oil interest, and that oil interest was tied back into what you were just talking about with them having to become a foreign entity. So they're like all kind of in the same cahoots, essentially. But
and then they've changed names. I know that the entity was called one thing, it became another, and then it finally formed a state. But it's the same group. That had just changed names. They always had the same interests, as well as members, families that were probably tied to this group.
Yes, I think this documentary that I found, it was from JFK. Okay, Everything is a Rich Man's Trick is what the documentary is called. It has 1.8 million views on YouTube, but it talks about from JFK all the way to 9/11.
Oh,
so it's deep. It's deep. It's about 3.5 hours, but it's good. It's a good watch.
Okay, gotta send that to the group chat.
Okay,
I did.
Financial news.
Send it again. So, Brandon, you want to touch on this? But
tell me something good.
So, so financial news, a prediction that I have made and have been following for a while now. But gold has officially cracked 3,000 per ounce.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people were feeling like this was gonna probably happen closer to the summer. During the summer, I was like, nah, it's gonna happen before, especially with this tariff situation. But gold, in 2023 January it was at 1,900. Now it's above 3,000. At the max, it got to 3,050.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're just looking at kind of like the headlines in the news, about it, gold market analysis signals of imminent price correction. Basically, a lot of people are doing stored value asset buys because of the tariffs.
Yeah.
And this is the reason for it. And of course, gold is going up, silver is going up as well. So silver didn't reach a new record necessarily, along with gold. Its highest record was I want to say about 30, almost 35. But it is up higher than what it usually is. But I just think this is a sign, again, when you're looking at the market and stuff like this, it lets you know what the people of money are thinking about.
Uh-huh.
And that it's important for us to have store value assets. You know, so yeah, what do you think?
I definitely agree, and it's just exciting, you know, when you see your assets rise,
your accounts grow. Your
accounts are growing, and
come on, blessings to Abraham.
Know, I think you know, this is something I didn't realize how kind of long I've been in this mindset of getting store value assets, but I was like, let me just go check this account that I bought, you know, when I had bought some gold. So I got this pulled up, and I bought 5 grams of gold, not an ounce, of course. I'm not balling like that. My average price paid is $343.
Okay.
Guess how much it's worth now? Their current buyback price. So $470. So that's $123 appreciation. You know, that's almost what 120 divided by 343 is probably about maybe 30%, 30% appreciation. If my dollar bills were just in my account, it would have lost value.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So just think about that, guys. You know,
account fees, all that.
You know, so think about having those sorts of assets, because I think the one thing that's promised right now is that the United States dollar bill is going to continue to lose its purchasing power. So you want to have assets that are going to retain their store value. And
does that mean I should just sell my house right now?
I don't think so, but I would not advise you to do that.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, because I can say stuff like, is it going to go up, or is stuff going to start to creep down? Because if it's going to start creeping down, then I might want to start looking overseas.
Think about what Brandon said, though. Brandon said earlier how the Department of Housing is planning to be not liquid, or not.
So housing is going to become more scarce.
It's bad.
Yeah. Okay.
So hold on to your house.
I see everybody else talking about it being bad too.
Rent it out. Rent it to your cousin. Then whatever you need to do, just keep your property.
You know, my freaking even subdivision literally just said, sent an email. Do you have an extra room? We partner with Airbnb, so and so and so.
God.
I'm like, oh wow, okay, wow. So
interesting.
Yeah, they even now have provided flex options where people can split their payment rent. I'm like, okay, so
my complex has that too.
So they know people broke.
Yeah, it's getting tight.
Everything's like freaking. You can do a firm on DoorDash.
Yeah.
That's problematic.
They said y'all better not be juicy crab.
Where you don't pay, right?
Yeah, you pay over in installments.
Snow crab on payment plan.
Bruh. It's really just ways to put people more
into debt. Yeah.
It's problematic. It really is.
People pay more, owe more. These are the small telltale signs of the middle class being stomped out.
Yes.
Stomped out. And we've been in a recession, y'all. Like a real recession. Now, it may not be, because I think that what the media does is thinks that our economy is solely focused. I'm sorry, the only indicator for our economy being healthy is the stock market, and that's not the case.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. There's we got GDP, we've got consumer price index, we've got other economic indicators that show
employment
ratios. I mean, you've got even manufacturing and like housing costs, and like there's so many other aspects to the economy that have decreased since really 2023, 2022 that like are very problematic, but you just don't see them being indicated in the stock market price, because I think that's really overinflated.
It's inflated.
You know, so
that's good.
It's important just to have these assets that are going to retain their store value. You know?
Yeah, do that, man. Do that, man.
Good talk.
Yeah. Save your funds. Save your just secure your future by saving now, by taking care of that stuff now, and you'll be better off than most people.
Saving in the sense of, I think, not in dollar bills,
right,
but in things that are going to retain their store value.
For sure.
I mean, food, water, bread.
That's saving.
It is, because
and scaling back lifestyle. I feel like, as far as travel, we need to be able to travel and be familiar with travel. So I feel like we should always carve out funds for travel. But as far as just a lot of lifestyle spending, unnecessary spending things, like the average person,
like spending $300 at the club, that just doesn't make sense.
It's madness.
It's madness. It doesn't make
What's
sense.
wrong with you? What are you going through?
That's what people do.
Yeah,
none of our followers go to the club.
That's good. Proud of y'all.
You guys, we forgot to tell them what episode it is and everything.
Oh yeah, what was episode 42?
We got an outro. I'll outro us.
We didn't even introduce.
We didn't even introduce us. Yeah.
Brandon, Elijah, Dayja.
Yes, Brandon, Elijah, Dayja. This has been Kingdom Outkasts, episode 42. Thank you for watching.
Podcasting the truth of the way. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Do what you do.
And if you want to quarantine Kingdom Outkasts, we are Kingdom Outkasts Pod on Cash App. We can bring you more consistent and quality content.
And so we don't have to use this as a microphone.
No, we just keep getting our equipment. Thank you very much for joining. Shalom.
Peace.